Mr. Suneet Vats, Vice Chairman Whips and alumnus of Columbia Business School, Columbia University, is a distinguished professional in the field of education. He is the backbone of this institution and one of the primary reasons for its growth and success. I now, with a lot of honor and pleasure, request Mr. Suneet Vats, Vice Chairman Whips, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. A few of the attributes, as in my introduction, I think those are unfair to me, to be very honest, because what we have, what we are today is because of, the vision of Chairman Sir, who is with us. So had he not been there, I think what you see around, and even in the spirit which is existing in the form of Professor Venkat Rao Sir and Professor Subba Rao Sir or our Dean and Shilpa Ma'am, would not have been possible had he not dreamt, long back, 2 decades almost now. Brick by brick, this institution was built and built to greatness, raised to greatness by people who joined, in different capacities. So I think the real attribution goes to Chairman Sir, to be very honest. Again, as Subba Rao Sir said, that it's not a mutual admiration club, so that, we kind of endorse each other's views. But then it's important to, reinforce certain ideas, because that's what, life is all about. And our commitment comes from, reinforcing those ideas very strongly. Because having a vision and a wishbone, as Chairman Sir said, is easier, but then to have the backbone to see things through is equally important, and I think more important than what you desire for. We are lucky, I would say, to have, personalities and, academicians like Professor Venkat Rao Sir and Subba Rao Sir joined here. I would say that you're lucky to be, being mentored by somebody as senior as them. The work culture here itself would, when you have the direct experience and a feel of it, you will realize, whatever was being said in orientation stands to the word, the last word of it. And that's what I think would make you better, human beings and better lawyers in times to come. My respects to and reverence to both of them, to Chairman Sir, to Professor Venkat Rao Sir, Subba Rao Sir, our Dean Ma'am. As I have said in the last, orientation session also, she is the glue. She holds the department together with all its, highs and lows when it comes. Dr. Shilpa Khatri Babba Ma'am, for her academic eruditeness and, for the work that she does, extension activities, a lot of them. So you will be happy to meet all of them in times to come. Dr. Ravindran, who's sitting there, the entire organizing team. Thank you. I'm lucky again, I would say, because Subba Rao Sir was speaking before me, so you are almost in a, waking state, not in a deep slumber. So I think I should be able to push 1 or 2 points through, across to you. I'll kind of read out few, key ideas which I have borrowed from people who are, known names when it comes to, talking about humanity, both right from scientists to, social scientists to people who have, brought about change. We were wanting to name, the School of Engineering. Professor Venkat Rao Sir once mentioned that why don't we call it as Institution for Social Engineering? Because, what we do as, what will you do as lawyers and what teachers would do as lawyers, or people out there who, practice law, is all about, putting society into context and then having laws around it, so that we are more, civilized. And Tagore, beautifully had put it that you need to be savage when it comes to your vitality and, civility when it comes to your mind. So you need to be more civilized as a mind and more savage when it comes to your vitality. So as students, we expect you to do that. When we deliver a lecture, it is important to know the audience. The first part of it, which is BBA, I would still want to understand the motivation, because I am assuming that either you have business as a background or you want to do something. So how many of you have business backgrounds here? Fine, quite a fair number of others. I mean, why BBA? Because you were commerce students or what? Just in 1 or 2 answers, because I would begin, Coming to my main point thereafter, anybody would like to share why BBLLB? You can please. Sorry, can you come a little forward? Or a hand mic maybe? Beta, you can take the mic in case you want to. There's a mic there, cordless mic.
Hello. Sir, I'd like to apply for a legal advisory position in a multinational company, any one of them.
All right,
So it will, if I have a business.
Sure. I think similar motivations for others also. See now, I'll pick something from, Nehruji's book, Discovery of India. He wrote, within the last few chapters, if you read, modern approach to older problems. The title of the, chapter is Modern Approaches to Older, Problems. And why he goes on to, because as humanity was on the verge, and especially India was on the verge of, entering into a new, when he spoke about the tryst with destiny speech, he very well knew, before that we would need, people who are thinkers and deep thinkers, and who would change, with their ideas. The world is going to change with ideas, not with technology. Technology and, subsequent things are things that follow. You need to have very strong ideas when you, kind of try and change the world. So this is what we expect you to be as lawyers of tomorrow, to think afresh about, what the new emerging things are. Because looking, at problems with the same prism will not help you. And it will not help you solve problems which are, created by us or a generation before us. We are talking a lot about, a green economy, a circular economy, donut economy. As Professor, I think Subbarao sir or Venkatrao sir was mentioning that, or Chairman sir, I think, mentioned that law has done more harm. I think our business practices have done more harm to what, our planet is all about today. And we are struggling. There are UN development goals, sustainability development goals. There is a lot of talk about, sustainable consumption, more on the agriculture side, to, think about those areas, because as the population grows, the world population grows, today it is around 7 billion. By 2050, it may cross 9 billion. So food would be one of the major problems that we will encounter. The amount of food wastage that we do, the kind of natural resources we extract each day is something which is, if you go through and Google those statistics, you'll come to know there are bigger problems coming our way as humanity. And if we do not have effective laws, tackling those issues, I think humanity would be in for a crisis of some order. There is a 1% rule which, normally applied to industrial IoT. I was reading a lot about industrial IoT, what it is planning to do. There is a 1% rule in engineering which says that if 1% improvement in production can, lead to a 10% multiplier of saving in, cost and multiplying your revenues. 1% of, saving in food wastage leads to, substantial amount of, food grains being saved. So that 1% rule, if you kind of Google it also, you will come to know what exactly I'm talking about. We normally, talk a lot in terms of the jargons that we throw today, but still get imprisoned by our thought philosophy into the past. So we have to, as youngsters, you have to kind of break those shackles and, come out of it someday. We have, a couple of courses as value-added courses, which are, purely catering to, court art and, drafting of planes and other things. But as I said in my previous, orientation, that you need to have, qualities and be a lifelong learner to that sense of it. Why? Because, see, if you are not a diverse thinker, and diverse thinker doesn't mean that you would kind of think about multitude of, layers that are there. Knowledge is something that you need to equip yourself with in times to come, and knowledge about everything that is happening around you. Because if you're not aware what Industrial Revolution 4.0 is, what IoT may do to, newer technologies, how humanoids and those Asimov's laws, I don't know how many of you studied those laws. Those are laws on robotics, fine. And within next 5 years, you will see, robots around you. They are there in industrial, production being used, and they kind of shut off. But then there are 3 very prominent rules of Asimov, which are, governing, what robotics would be, the future of tomorrow. So are you aware of those laws? How are they being applied to, the kind of robotics? Then there are cloning, laws that are required, because a lot of, things are being cloned. There is human transplant, 3D printing, which is happening at human transplants being done through pigs. And pigs are being cultivated with human, parts like liver and other things to be, later on, transferred to human bodies. So do we have sufficient laws? And why I'm telling you this is, whatever you are going to read or study in 5-year law program, yes, it covers and will cover surely, what those technologies are. But then, in case you want to find, they say there is always a position at the top. So to be at the top, you need to think about these newer areas, emerging areas of law, where you will find that, the lawyers who have already been trained are not equipped with any kind of, law on those terms. Everybody would have heard of Tesla. He did a SpaceX, launch, trying to colonize Moon and Mars in a later subsequent, initiative. What are the space laws going to be? What is, the International Space Center? How many satellites can be, launched in terms of its orbit? Because as there was a war for, airwaves, as we have seen in 2G, 3G, 5G now coming in, there is a war which is happening, outside about satellites. How many satellites can a country own? How many can be used for, invasion of privacy, for that matter? And when I say, there are enough laws now coming in terms of European Union, 2018, in my last session also I said that read those laws about privacy. Because the top 5 tech companies, Alibaba, Facebook, Alphabet, fine, your WhatsApp, and one more possibly, is, are companies which are not, hardcore companies in terms of what they do. They do not have any stores, Walmart for that matter, Walmart getting Amazon for that matter. These are companies which are changing the landscape of how business would be done in times to come. We have monopolies, restrictive trade practices as an act, but then these companies are beyond that now, because those acts do not apply to companies which are tech companies and are doing business, in multiple locations. Their servers are based somewhere in, Amazon, in Arizona, and catering to, markets which are across the world. Alibaba, when it did $18 billion in a single day of sales, nobody could imagine the quantum of, tax that would be applied. There'll be tax which will be impacted in times to come. So I'm just trying to, broaden your horizons in terms of what is required. Second part to the entire conversation is about building your, emotional equity or an emotional quotient. I think Daniel Goleman, and it is closer to my heart because, this is something where when you are in a courtroom situation, and even for that matter life, you go through a lot of emotions. And how detached are you from those emotions? Because anybody who's detached from those emotions or is in self-control of those emotions is going to be, leading the way, and it is going to be more, empathetic when it comes to, delivering or, dispensing justice. Because without these qualities, I think you will not be able to, dispassionately look at what multiple stakeholder, perspective is all about. Because either it is about winning for yourself or not winning at all. So, and the real world doesn't work like this. You need to have something called, a very, I would say, realistic idealism that one has to practice. So idealism is good, but realistic idealism can only be practiced once you have something called emotional quotient. And I would, just repeat for the sake of your consumption, self-awareness is one of the pillars of that, emotional quotient, which says emotional self-awareness, accurate self-assessment, which is self-introspection, self-confidence, then self-management, self-control, transparency, adaptability, achievement, drive, and initiative. Translating into social awareness, which is empathy, picking up of the mood in the room. Supposedly you walk into the courtroom, the judge is in a bad mood today, even though you are armed with the best of, laws that you have, you may get a bad judgment. So do you need to enter the courtroom with a bad judge sitting with a bad mood, or you want to have something which will get you a good judgment on a later date? Societal awareness, as I said, read a lot in terms of what you do, not just about your subjects, but then of the areas that I have told you, because those are emerging technologies. What we are doing today may not be feasible tomorrow. So laws may become redundant as they may sound, but then there is a new wave of, societal norms coming. There is a book by Klaus Schwab, which predicts that, we'll have smart cities without any red lights, fine, home connected to internet. They will steal all your privacy data. They'll know what you eat, what you do, what you, kind of listen to. So what are we heading to? What are the privacy laws, going to do? And those smart cities will have, robocops. I don't know how many of you seen that movie, but then they'll have robocops. Nobody as a human to be a cop, but then robots as cops who will have certain, maybe 5-line, instruction issued to them that you have to follow this and arrest a person as per the legality of it. Lastly, coming to relationship management, you need to be inspirational. You need to develop others, not just think about yourself, because in a society you cannot remain isolated. Your influence, change catalyst, conflict management, fine, building bonds, team working and collaborating with others. I think those are important areas where we need to understand. And lastly, to end my talk today, Albert Einstein famously quoted, "Serious scientific workers are the only profoundly religious workers because they intuitively do the act of God." So with all those prayers and wishes to you, we wish you that you do well in your careers in times to come, not just in your academic performances over the last in the next 5 years, but then in times to come. With all those wishes, I would like to thank you, and thank you everybody.